I just wanted to get on really quick. I know I'm kind of like in my grungy clothes here, but I wanted to share a really quick getting started training with you about booking your calendar when you first start your Arbonne business. I know a lot of us are busy and have different things going on, and sometimes it's hard to make that connection and get everything kind of started smooth. So I thought if I could do a video, maybe this would help others. So one of the things you're going to do is once you've said yes and you've started your action plan, you started to make your contact list, and you started to be aware of what you need to do to get started, you're going to start filling in your calendar. And you have two goals with that. Your first goal is to reach out and share the business opportunity with your dream team people first, okay? So this is huge. That's your list of like 8 to 15 people that you had on your contact list that you starred that were great and special and you know would be amazing at Arbonne. So what you're going to do is you want to schedule time with them first. We want you growing a business and a team from the get-go. So you're going to reach out to these people either in person or over the phone, or those are really the best ways. And it's important because they need to hear your excitement, your enthusiasm in your voice, and your sponsor or your upline can help coach you and show you how to do this. They can help you make those calls. It's whatever you're most comfortable with, but it has to happen. We want you to grow that team. So your goal is contacting them, is to ask them to listen and to getting some information about your new business in case it could be something for them. All you're doing is asking them at this point to listen. You need to be sincere and be honest, and you also have to share your hope about Arbonne and the opportunity, and that you really want them to hear about it. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by creating some verbiage of what you're going to say, because it's kind of like when you start this, what do I do? What do I say? So first you want to share why you're doing Arbonne and how you believe it can help you. And you need to be strong with this. If you say, well, I hope and I think and maybe, no one's going to follow that. But if you say, I'm doing Arbonne because I know these products are amazing, the business opportunity is great, it's super supportive, and I know that if I plug into this and I invest some part-time time into this, it can replace my full-time salary, and it's going to. I'm sick of the rat race. You say that to someone, they're going to listen, okay? So be honest with your reason why. Then you're going to say something like, I really think this could help you, and I don't know if it could be a fit for you, but the reasons why I thought of you and thought you would be good at Arbonne is, and you're going to have some reasons why they're amazing, and you're going to share that with them. You're also going to say, I can see how this could help you, and you're going to show them that. You're going to say, I could see it could help you get this. And then you're going to ask, would you be willing to hear more before deciding yes or no? And I love this part. One thing you're going to say is, you're going to say, before you answer, I want to ask you two questions. First, will you promise me that you will feel comfortable saying no to me if you aren't interested in what I'm doing? And then you say, also, will you promise me, though, that before you do say no, that you allow me to really share this information so that I know in my heart that you have totally been informed and you have all the information you need to make an informed decision? And if they say, that sets it up for a very comfortable conversation. You're ready for a no, and that's okay, but you want to make sure they have that information and the full story before they say no to this opportunity. So an example of what this could sound like is, hey, Megan, is it a good time? Oh, great. Okay, I wanted to reach out to you quick. As I've really recently started a business with Arbonne, I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it, but we have an amazing botanically-based health and wellness products for the whole family, and I'm really super excited about this. And I actually thought of you because for me, I've actually decided to do this because I've been looking for a way out of my crazy rat race life, and I've been looking for a way to have more time with my family. And I know I don't want to be sending the kids to daycare. And this is where it's important because you're going to share your why. Remember, you're going to be honest, okay? Maybe a little vulnerable. You don't want to throw up Arbonne and go too long, but just enough. Then you're going to say, I don't know if this would be a fit for you. However, when I think about you and how much you love to help other people and how you just everything you do well, I knew I needed to reach out to you. Because I can honestly see Arbonne helping you. I can see it being able to allow you to contribute financially to your family, but not having to work full time and being able to fit this in and still be really present as a mom. And I totally see that working for you. So I'm wondering, would you be willing to let me share with you what it is I'm doing before you decide yes or no. And before you say anything, please, I have 2 questions for you. First is, will you promise me that you feel comfortable saying no after you hear my story and what the information? And then also, will you promise me though that you won't say no until I've shared the full story with you and given you all of the information, so that I know in my heart you have a completely informed decision? Once they say this is great, then you're like, okay, awesome. And if they say yes, then you have several options of how you're going to share the Arbonne opportunity with these people. But I want you to know you need to move with a sense of urgency. Try to get this done within 3 days of your conversation. The first that you can do is if you and your sponsor have decided to host a dream team event. This is like a business meeting. It's usually just at your house where the presentation of the business is shared by an upline. Then you can invite them to that, and you can say, I'm having a business meeting here. I'm having a meeting. I would love for you to come and hear more at my house. Could you make it to this? The other option you can do is you can plan a coffee date or a Zoom conference call with you, this prospect, your friend or person you know, and your upline or sponsor. The thing that I love about this is it's really personal, and I feel like it's more intimate, and it's really my preferred method. But the reality is, if you're getting started and you're trying to do this with 8 to 15 people, you may not have time to do 8 to 15 separate coffee dates. So just know that there's a couple other options available. What you can do is you can send them a recorded Discover call, and we have a list of them. We have some that are great that I know I personally love, and you can send that to those people and say, if you would you be willing to listen to a recorded call and then allow me to follow up with you and get some feedback and hear your thoughts. And if they are open to that, then that's a wonderful thing. You're going to set up a time to send them that call. The critical part though is that you make sure you have a scheduled follow-up time. So it may look something like this. You'll say, oh, okay, great. So if I sent you this call, do you think you could listen in the next couple of days? And the person replies, oh, sure, probably by the weekend, whatever. And you can say, oh, awesome. Okay, well, if you listen by Friday, do you think there could be a time this weekend where you and I could connect up quick, and we could have a quick little follow-up and a chat about the call and what you thought? And if they say sure, and you say, oh, okay, like, is there a time that's best for you, maybe in the morning or the afternoon this weekend? And they tell you, oh, yeah, Sunday morning after church would be great. My husband usually plays whatever video games with the kids. Perfect. Then you say, okay, great. Why don't we do this then? I'll send you the call. You're going to listen, and I'll plan to talk to you Sunday. And I'll text you before, Saturday or whatever. But we'll plan to connect up, and I can't wait to hear what you think. Simple as that. Okay. The other option you have is if they're local and it's close to the beginning of the month, you can invite them to our once a month, it's the first Monday in the month, our local Discover meeting. And this is great. They get to meet other Arbonne people and hear the Arbonne opportunity and connect up with your sponsor, and they can give you information. And then the final way you can do this is you can actually every Monday evening at 9:30 Eastern Time, Carlita Nielsen, Executive National Vice President at her organization, puts on a live Discover call. So you could always share that information and invite someone to listen in on that. They don't have to speak or do anything, but it's great because a couple of leaders in Arbonne share their story, and they also share the opportunity. It's great. Okay. Now I do love, side note, if you're able to get people some samples to try before you meet with them for coffee or do a Zoom conference call or whatever it may be, that's great. But if not, don't stress on that. It's just nice sometimes to have people be trying the products when you're speaking with them and falling in love with them. So after you've done this business share and you have you've shared the opportunity with people, there's a way that you need to wrap it up and conclude it and figure out what to do next. And so what we do is it's a really simple system. We call it the 1 through 10 scale. And your upline sponsor will do this during these meetings, or your whoever's with you, but it's good for you to know how to do it right now. Start out of the gate. So what we do is it's a 1 through 10 scale. So we say something like this, and I usually try to use a little humor, and I say, well, I like to ask everybody this question now that we're at this point and I've given you the presentation and I've shared the information with you, so that I can kind of know how I can best help you from here. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being, oh my goodness, I never want to hear about Arbonne again, get me away from her, to 10, oh my gosh, this is totally what I've been looking for. This is totally up my alley. Sign me up. I want to do this business. Now, where do you see yourself on that scale of 1 to 10? And you give them an opportunity to share. It's such a valuable tool. So then what you do is if they're like a 2 to a 3, what you say is something like this. Okay, great. Well, what most people do when they're like a 2 to a 3 on this scale is they sample some products. So I'm wondering, would you be willing to try some Arbonne and allow me to follow up and get your feedback? And if they say yes, then you say, great, perfect. And you give them some samples, set it up, and you plan a time to follow up. Just like that follow up from a phone call, you're going to plan a time to follow up on the samples and have that scheduled in so that you don't feel like you're hounding people and irritating them, because that is no fun. Now, what if they're like a 4 to a 6? So if they're a 4 to a 6 on the scale, I say something like, oh my goodness, that's great. Well, that's great, because really what it means is you have 4 to 6 really good reasons why Arbonne could help you. So what most people do, though, is when they're about a 4 to a 6, they host a little sampling event or a get-together. And I come to you and I bring all the products, and we do some pampering and some sampling. And that way you can see firsthand what it is we do. And honestly, worst case scenario, you have fun event with some of your friends and you get to have a shopping spree at 80% off. Do you think you have a few people that would like to come and get together and sample some Arbonne? So at this point, you're asking them to host an event. If they say yes, then you're going to set up a date, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. If they say no to hosting, then you're going to go back and say, oh, okay, I totally understand. Well, what most people do is they still want to try the products. Would you like to sample? And so we'll go from there. Okay, you'll go back to sampling. Now, if they're 7 to an 8, I always tell people this means they're going to join your business. I mean, they're really interested and something's holding them back. So I usually say something like this. Oh my goodness, that is awesome. What that tells me is you have 7 to 8 really good reasons why Arbonne could be a total fit for you. And what we find usually is when people are about a 7 to 8, they really just need some more information. So sometimes it's questions or concerns. So I'm wondering, do you have anything that you're wondering about or you'd like to ask me that's kind of holding you back from saying yes to this opportunity? At this point, when you say something like that, it opens up the conversation. Sometimes they'll share their hesitations, their fears. I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't know enough people. I don't have enough time. You can try to talk them through and walk them through that. But, and if your sponsor's with you, they will do that too. Or if you're not comfortable, what you can say is, oh my gosh, I totally get it. You know what? Why don't we do this? Would you be willing to chat with someone who has more experience than me and has been doing Arbonne longer? And maybe they could help you answer some of those questions. I just want to make sure you're fully informed and you know. And if they say yes, then you're going to set up an appointment for them. And you're also going to talk about getting them some samples and products and all that good stuff because they need to be using it. They're going to be someone you're going to be connecting back up with because they're really close to joining your business. They just need more information is what it is. If they're a 9 through a 10, well then guess what? You have yourself a teammate. You have yourself a business partner you're going to link arms with. So what you do is you connect them up to your website and you get them signed up ASAP right away. And then you tell them you're going to reach out to your upline, your sponsor, and you're going to help them get started. And you're really excited. So that's that. Okay. We have a list of opportunity calls that you can get to, and I actually have all of this in a document that I'll be able to send to you. Now, here's the question. What do you do if you ask someone to take a look at the business and hear the opportunity, and they're someone you think would be fabulous, and they say no? Well, then what you're going to do is you're actually going to reach back to them in a very honest way, and you're gonna figure out something else to do with them because they're not done. Okay, they were a dream team person. I'm going to share that with you in a moment. Okay, it connects up actually to our goal number 2. Our goal number 2 is to reach out to people who you believe will host an event for you. Now, these are the people on your contact list who are always supportive of you, people who love to entertain, people who are into health and wellness and looking great. And when you contact them, you're going to start the conversation pretty much the same way you did with your dream team people above. But instead of asking them for a coffee date or to take a look at the business, you're going to ask them to help you get started by hosting a small event or a little get-together so that you can learn and practice. So if they're unable to do this, okay, and they can't host for you, you ask them and they say they can't, then you're going to invite them to an upcoming launch event. And usually we have about 2 of those. One is usually host at your home, and then another one, sometimes both, but usually one at your home and then another one done by a friend or a family member. So you would invite them to that if they can't host something for you, because you want them to come and hear the Arbonne story and why you're doing it. So what you're going to do is you are going to say something like this when you reach out to people. You're going to say, hey, Molly, is this a good time? Oh, great. I wanted to reach out to you because I've recently started a business with Arbonne. It's a health and wellness and skincare company, and I'm super excited about the opportunity. I decided to do this because this is where you share your why. Okay, and I'm not going to go into it, but be brief. You may need to be a little vulnerable and share your vision for this, what it's going to do for you, because people are going to follow you when you know where you're going and how great the opportunity is. So then you're going to say, so I'm actually calling to ask you a huge favor. And I put you on the top of my list because I need about 8 people to help me get started. I really need to kind of get out of my friends and my family network and share Arbonne with some new people. So I thought of you. And I was wondering if maybe this one time you wouldn't mind hosting a little get-together, a little sampling event, and have like 5 or 6 of your friends over. We'll do some pampering. I'll bring the products, some sampling of our amazing nutritional products, and you'll get some amazing host rewards. But really, more than anything, it would mean the world to me because you'd be able to get me into a new network of people, and you'd allow me to start sharing Arbonne and practicing what I'm doing. So do you think you'd be willing to do that? And then you're going to pause, which is hard, but you're going to pause. And if they say yes, then you're going to set up a day. You're going to say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. This means so much to me. I have this date and this date works for you. Or you may say, oh my goodness, great. Thank you so much. Is there a weekend or a weeknight would be better for you? And you start to figure out what works. You are going to have your dates available in front of you when you do this. This is really important. You're going to offer them a couple of dates. You're not going to offer them your entire calendar, and the sooner the dates, the better. Okay, the farther out we wait, the higher rate of cancellations go, and we want to get your business moving quick. So the goal is to get the date set while you're on the phone and pencil something in. If they say, let me check with my friends, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I totally get it, but you know what? Why don't we do this? It really is a lot easier if you and I, since we're the most important people, pick a date that works for us, and then I'm really confident that we'll be able to get some friends there for you. And if for some reason we can't, we can reschedule. So that allows you to kind of be in control that way, and you're not waiting and having to hound them. Now, if they say no and they're not interested in hosting anything for you, then that's where you say, oh my gosh, I totally understand, but I would love your support. Would you be able to come to one of my launch events? And you invite them to one of those events. If they can't come to an event, then you're going to say, oh my goodness, I'm going to miss you. Bummer. Why don't we do this? Is there a time where you and I can get together for coffee or tea and I can just share with you what I do, what Arbonne is? I would love for you to hear about it and your support, and go from there. Find a date that works. Now, remember when I said, oh my goodness, we're going to reach out to people about hearing about the opportunity, and they may say no, those dream team people? What do? Okay, well, there's a plan, okay? So if they say no, you're going to say something like, oh my gosh, I totally understand. It's okay. This business isn't for everybody, but I am really excited and would love your support. One of the best ways that you could actually help me is by getting a few friends together so I could share the products and what Arbonne is all about. Everyone will get pampered and sample our amazing nutritional products. And I'm looking for the training I need. Plus, it'd allow me to meet some new people. And this really would mean the world to me. And bonus for you, you could earn an 80% shopping spree on the products. So what do you think? Would you be willing to get a few friends together for a sampling event, small little host event? And you stop there and you wait. Okay, if they say yes, you're going to book. And if they say no, then you're going to ask them to come to one of your launch events, okay? So this is really the steps to do it. The number one thing with filling your calendar is sharing the business. So start sharing the business, figure out who you want to reach out to, and connect up with your upline, figure out your plan of attack, how you want to do it, and team together. Then the second goal with your calendar is to reach out and get people to host events for you. Now remember, these don't need to be 7 to 15 people. 5 to 6 is the best max plus a host. So no, it doesn't have to be huge. And also know that 2 to 3 is great with a host. The next step that you're going to end up doing is you're going to need to do some host coaching now that you have events on your calendar. And I will tell you, there's plenty of information and resources for that, and that's another training, and we can connect you up. But the big thing right now is keeping the main thing, getting your calendar booked with those dream team people and sharing the business. And the second piece of that is getting your calendar booked with some events and having hosts open up their home and their networks for you, and getting out there and doing it. Okay? All right, if you need anything, holler. Hopefully this helped someone, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Thanks.